book lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I'm here today to talk about some authors that I still haven't read from. What? If you didn't know, this is a 7 on Sunday topic, and I am the host of 7 on Sunday. I will link the Goodreads page down in the description where you can check out the topics that we have. And even though I struggle to participate in 7 on Sunday every week, trust me, I have a very fun time in creating those topics. And honestly, I always have to blame the fact that I only have my weekends free to film, and I wanted to do a reading vlog. I could have been filming and editing my last week's 7 on Sunday about International Women's Day, but I didn't end up doing that, so yeah, I'm a failure. Anyway, so it's very funny that I struggled to find some authors to talk about on this list today, because I'm technically basing this off of the books that I already own, I have on my shelves, and the authors that I still haven't read from. And it's funny because I can't classify a series that I started and I only read one book from that author when I have heaps of them on my shelves that I still haven't read yet. I can't classify any of those, or maybe even like short stories that I've read from a particular author. So there were so many books that I went through on my bookshelves with little return of results, but hey, I ended up finding 7. That ain't bad. That means that I really do need to buy more books from different authors, but I think I struggled with finding new authors that I haven't read from yet, because there are a lot of times that I get new releases and I read them too quickly. While I do need to buy new books, I also have bought many books and I've read a lot of them. That's my dilemma here. Without further ado, let's talk about the few authors that I have on my list that I haven't read from. So I'm going to be starting off with Becky Chambers, who wrote The Long Way Down to a Small Angry Planet. And it's funny because I have found myself almost unhauling this book on multiple occasions. And the reason why I found myself almost unhauling this book is because I heard that the books are kind of like almost companion books, but also they're more like character based and not really plot based. And I've also heard that this is a very polarizing series. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I think to myself that I'm going to be the minority who does not like it. That's why I haven't given it a chance. I put it in my shed when I lived at my parents' place for such a long time, and then when we were moving into our new place, I thought to myself, maybe I should take these books with me and give them another chance. So yeah, a lot of you guys probably didn't know that I owned a series at all. Yeah, I do. I might give them a try. I might give them a chance one day. Maybe it's a good thing that I have such low expectations. Long way down to small expectations. I don't know. We'll see how we go, but what I do know is that I might like it because I have such small and low expectations for this series. Another author that I have not read from that is very popular at the moment in the YA category after releasing back-to-back hits is Adrienne Young. If you guys don't know who Adrienne Young is, she wrote Fable and Namesake, and then she wrote Guy in the Deep, and then The Girl Who Gave the Sea Back, or The Sea Who Gave the Girl Back. I don't even know. I'm horrible at this, but what I do know is that I barely know because I haven't read anything from Adrienne Young at all. Fable was kind of the first series that I was very intrigued by, and I'm really excited to read Fable. But right now, I have not yet read Fable, and I'm very much looking forward to also reading Namesake. I'm planning to read them back to back. We'll see how that goes. I hope that it ends up being the series that I really wanted it to be, because it sounds really good. From what I know, this particular series has to do with pirates, and if it's anything like the Daughter of the Pirate King series, then I'm very much intrigued because I really enjoyed that series. So I'm hoping I enjoy this one just as much, and I'm hoping that Adrienne Young becomes one of my new favorite authors. The next author that I have not yet read from is Brittany Cavallaro, who is the author of Muse and also the Charlotte Holmes series, which got a lot of buzz. But Muse is the latest release, and of course I purchased it, kind of cover buyed it, but still I wanted to read Brittany Cavallaro for a very long time because I hear absolutely nothing but good things about the Charlotte Holmes series. I wanted to take a chance on Brittany Cavallaro's writing. I'm hoping that it's going to happen either sometime this month or sometime soon, because this is one beautiful book, one absolutely gloriously beautiful book, and so is the Charlotte Holmes series, and I feel like collecting all of them, but gotta like really contain myself. I've heard that Brittany Cavallaro does very well with alternative historical fiction. While that sounds intriguing and that sounds cool, historical fiction is not necessarily my thing. It's not necessarily the genre that I ever gravitate towards. So this is gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna see how this goes, and I'm gonna see if I love Brittany Cavallaro's books just just as much as everybody else does in the book community, because I really want to. If I'm going to be collecting all of these beautiful books, I surely want to love them. Oh my goodness, does anybody remember when this book was hyped? Does everybody remember S.J. Kincaid or The Diabolic, when it was being hyped up, like when the publisher was literally sending everybody arcs or like telling people to hype it up, saying that it was like the new Hunger Games or the new thing that everybody should be paying attention to, like it was the new craze? And then yeah, only recently the final book came out and like no one was talking about it. This being said, I have not yet read anything by S.J. Kincaid. However, I have been fascinated in reading the Diabolic series. Back in the day, I did enjoy reading post-apocalyptic sci-fi. From what I know, this falls under that category, so I was very much looking forward to it. And also, this one had to do with royals and a guardian named Nemesis, and then there was Sidonia. I don't know, like, doesn't have a female friendship, not too sure, but what I do know is that it sounded so intriguing when everybody was talking about it. Now no one is talking about it, and absolutely no one is talking about S.J. Kincaid's books anymore, when everybody was like 3 years ago. This being said, they're an author that I still haven't yet read, and I do want to read from, because this book sounds so intriguing. I very much do want to read the series, and I hope that it's just as good as what everybody said it was a few years ago when this was a thing. And I hope that the finale actually does not disappoint either, because it only recently came out after like 2 or 3 years of it being delayed. And now I'm gonna mention an author that I own 3 books from, still have not yet read any of them. This is their most popular one. So I'm gonna be talking about Naomi Alderman. The Power is the one that I'm showing right now. This book won the Bailey's Prize of Fiction for 2017. I remember I was on BookTube when everybody was reading this, and what I do know is that there are conflicting perspectives about this book. While people are really happy that this is a good feminist retelling of like What the Handmaid's Tale or something like that. I mean, no, it's not a retelling, but it's kind of similar to that, except the females are in power and people like that. Apparently it's not super diverse in its feminism at all. In fact, this is just what I've heard, by the way. It's not my opinion because I haven't yet read the book. It's like one aspect of feminism, but not like feminism as a whole. But yeah, I wanted to read this book because I just wanted to know essentially what everybody was talking about. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do, and it's been like, what, 4 years? 4 years since I purchased this book, still haven't read it. I haven't yet read anything by Naomi Alderman, and yet I have her books on my shelf because they all look good when they match. I really need to stop that. This is why I've stopped mass buying standalones even though they match, because I am more inclined to get to a book if it is not a standalone. And then the next author that I've got to mention is an author of a book that is taking Twitter by storm. Kinda Twitter by storm, BookTube by storm, kind of both. Yeah, that's Gideon the Knight. Tamsin Muir is my neighbor because she's from New Zealand. And that's really cool. I'm from Australia. I don't sound like it. I have a very mixed accent due to my mom growing up in Canada. Before you think that I'm putting this on, I'm not putting the accent on. And if you think that, shove this up your butt. Trust me when I say this, people think that I've faked my accent to get views, and that is not true. If anything, I want to sound more Aussie. It doesn't work. I have a very mixed accent and I just cannot help it, okay? Anyway, she's my neighbor. I want to read her book. Perfect timing because this is the book pick of the month for the name of the book, which is really exciting. So yes, I definitely want to read this book and be part of that. It's just gonna be really exciting. What I do not know, actually, I don't know if Tamsin Muir has written anything else. I've only heard of the Locked Tomb trilogy from them. I haven't heard that they've written anything else, but what I do know is that I think they're planning to write more. I mean, if you're a successful author, then yeah, good on you. Like, happy that you get to write more. That's great. What I do know is that I need to get to this book, even though I'm a little bit intimidated by it because of the house names and everything. I tried starting this and I just didn't continue on. I only just read the house names and I'm like, oh yeah, nah, I need something lighter than this right now. So I only put it down because I wasn't yet ready for something heavy. But I don't think that this is going to be super intimidating. I think that this is going to be very enjoyable. So I'm very much looking forward to Gideon the Ninth. And this final one is technically cheating because it's not one author that I haven't read from. It's all 3 of the Lady Janies. And those people are Cynthia Hand, Rhodey Ashton, and Jodie Meadows. I have not yet read anything by them, and that includes this book. I have not yet read My Lady Jane. I also have My Plain Jane on the shelf, and I also have My Calamity Jane on my wish list. And that's very funny because it's ironic. I'm not into historical fiction as much as everybody else is, yet I still have these books. I don't know if it's because they're covers or because apparently they're like parody-like books. I don't know what it is. There's just something that intrigues me about them. But but I have not yet picked these books up. And I definitely think that that needs to happen soon because I have friends who brag about how much they love this series. I feel like I am a disappointment, to put it lightly. So hopefully that changes, as well as the rest of the books. I hope that all of that changes. I hope that I do get to all of these authors because I think it's what they deserve. So that is all for this video today, book lovers. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did happen to enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And I also have social medias. I'm at G-Swizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/G-Swizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.